Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dark Shadows Reviews on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and today what I have to review for you is the prototype life-size Mr. Bones made by Gemmy Industries. This was supposed to be released back in 2011, and it did not make production. There are two of them that exist, one that you've seen a while back that was featured on this channel, as well as Donovan's personal channel. This one belonged to a different collector a couple years back, and then was passed around and traded to Gemmy Addiction for another prototype life size, which was then up for grabs. It was supposed to go to somebody else, but then that deal fell through, and Gemmy Addiction and I had a deal set aside that if that was to, if that deal wasn't to work out, that I would get it. And I did get it. Obviously, it is in my room. This is not my normal background. He's just too fragile for me to move down into the basement. So I figured, once I got him home, I would put him up in my room, and that's where he would stay. And the only reason why he's not in the basement is I don't really keep any resin pieces in the basement. The only one is Hunchback that will be there, and the only reason why I won't put any resin pieces in the basement is due to the massive frequencies from the drum set. When I play, the vibration could cause the resin to crack. The Hunchback has really thick resin. This is very thin resin. So the Clown, Pennywise, and Mr. Bones are in my bedroom. So anyways, a little bit of a story on this. Like I said, there is another model. That model has been fully restored. This model has been fully restored a couple of times. And this is the only one that has the head movement side to side. So the other version that's out there just has the violent shaking and the mouth movement, the LED lights, and then of course the misting feature. When I do the demo in this video, I won't be doing the misting. Not because it doesn't work, it works great, it's totally fine. But unfortunately, if I am to fill it with water, it's going to be very difficult for me to get all the water out of there. And I don't feel like activating him enough for the water to evaporate or to completely dissipate through the misting system. So I'm just going to not even turn that on. I'll show you a little bit of how he's put together, in not super in depth because I don't want to take him apart, but I'll show you how he's put together. He has full hand painted features, resin hands, resin feet, and the entire chair is resin. I mean, it's as fragile as a potato chip. In all seriousness, I wish I could say I was exaggerating, but I'm not. The resin is old now, obviously, with it being from 2011. The resin has become a little bit brittle, especially the super thin resin. The hands and the feet have held up okay. Those are all intact and all seem to be original with no cracks or anything in them. The chair, on the other hand, has shattered a couple of times. Basically, it shattered before the first collector owned it and repaired it. The repair was kind of there were a lot of things that I personally would have done differently. I'll go over that. And it's not so much that it was an awful repair, it's just that there's a lot of eyesores on it that stick out. I do have plans to actually make another chair for this guy out of wood, and putting this one away in storage, carefully packed perfectly, and getting an Arduino to completely clone the programming, very similar, and make it move the exact same way, but just not use this chair. And the only reason why is just because how fragile it is. But that's going to be something that happens, way down the road. Like, I'm talking a while from now. But for right now, he's just going to stay put where he is and barely even get touched. The the whole issue with him is the fact, like I said, the chair is, him being as old as he is, the chair being as brittle as it is and made so poorly. Um, you can't ship this thing, and that's one of the main reasons why the original deal fell through with who it was supposed to go to. I mean, shipping this thing is a nightmare. There's pretty much no way to avoid, uh, it getting damaged during transport. Luckily, for me, I was local. I'm about an hour away from Gemmy Addiction, so it was very easy for me to just throw it in my truck and drive home. And it survived. It was fine. I put it in there with a whole bunch of other stuff. I got a ton of stuff from him, so there's gonna be a ton of reviews coming out on prototypes. Lots of things for sale. Check the Gemmy Instagram, Gemmy Master at Gemmy Master, and take a look at the recent posts that I made. There's going to be a ton of stuff for sale, and I just want to share with you guys some of the prototypes that I do have. But this one is not for sale, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go up close for you guys and just show you some of the key details on him. Obviously he's dressed up in a prisoner's uniform, and it looks great. It's a great piece. The only thing that I don't like about it, and obviously there's no changing this, Gemmy loves the skeletal type characters and things like that. I wish it was more realistic. I wish it had, a normal human's face and was just realistic in that sense. The only reason why I say that is because this one, if you compare it to Death Row at Spirit Halloween, in functionality and uh, looks, completely blows Techie Toys Death Row out of the water. But when it comes to appearance and realism, this one unfortunately lacks a lot because of it being a cartoonish looking skeleton. It really draws back from any type of realistic factor that it could have. I mean, the body is so full on it. The entire torso does not have a body shell. It has a shoulder shell, but there's no body shell. But it looks so full. And if you watch Donovan's video in the past and other videos of this, the shirt is kind of just hanging there. It looks bad. I don't like the way that they all positioned him. I took the shirt and I kind of rolled it under itself to make it look like it's one solid uniform, and I think that was the best way to go. The legs are filled out beautifully. Again, this being the prototype, if it was released, they could have cut so many production costs, and it definitely probably wouldn't have looked like this. But still, I mean, it looks so full. The arms are nice and full. The straps on it hold it into the chair great. It came with its own chair. There are so many things that were just right about this. The only disappointment, besides the fact that it's a skeleton to me, again, I know that a lot of people are going to disagree. And listen, I love the character to death. I think it's awesome. I just wish it was a little more realistic. But I wish that, like Death Row, how it had its own high voltage box to activate it. I wish that it had something such as that. And Gemmy Addiction gave me this for free, so I put it in the background just to kind of match it and just give it a little bit more aesthetic. And I think that it looks great with it. So yeah, I'll go ahead, go a little closer, and I'll show you how it kind of activates here. So when you plug it in, he's not plugged in right now. I'll do a demo later. You press this lever down. There's a relay in here inside the chair that you can hear it. So when you press it, it presses the relay and it sends power and turns the whole thing on. The sensor is right here. It's this little hole right there. You got an LED here, an LED here, and then there's a couple more along the back of the chair. And these hands, like I said, are complete resin. They slide into the chair with these poles right here, and they stay in place. See, this is one of the parts of the repair I'm really against. Instead of maybe making a new one of these, using a screw holder, anything to make it look original, there's a wood screw put in there. So I'm gonna remove that, and I'm gonna put something very similar to this in there, so this can actually sit there and not move side to side. Because this one, as you can see, does not move at all, and because it's got both of them on it. It straps in. This one's a little bit different than the stock photo one, because the stock photo one, these straps are black and it has a number on the chest on, I think it's this side, that says 711. So there is, well, was 3 out there. Now there's only 2 that are known, at least to my knowledge, that is. And then the head is just a regular produced head off of, Deadhead Butler. It's the same style head. And the jaw doesn't really click too bad. There's really nice thick foam up here. A very little bit. You don't hear it at all due to how loud he is. He does have a really nice set of phrases. It's the same exact audio from, regular Jolt and Jack, the tabletop, and it just suits it so well. I know everyone calls it Mr. Bones, but to me this is life-size Jolt and Jack, and it's just perfect. You can see, if I can get a good angle here, you can see how it's mounted with all the wiring and everything under here. So the wires run through for the LEDs underneath. You can see that clear tube is for the misting. Back there, I know it's kind of hard to see. Back there, sticking up, is the fan for the mister. And then where the 2 clear tubes go in is where you would pour the liquid, the water for the misting. And there's a line on the back that shows the level to pour it to. And there's a cap that's on top of the chair that you would pour it all in. There's a whole mess of wires back there to connect everything up, and it's kind of, sloppy, but it's just a prototype, so that's to be expected. The way his body mounts onto the chair is with these hanging off the back. There's 3 of them, 1 here, 1 there, and then 1 down. You can't really see it, but 1 down right here in the center. And there's springs. I could show you that. There's springs that slide onto it to hold it in place, and then you put this screw in just to make sure that it doesn't fall off. So, very cheap design for it to work, but hey, it gets the job done, and that's totally fine. His legs are separate from his torso, and they just have a typical hip ring. I don't know if I could show you how those are mounted. I don't really want to take him apart. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you. I don't really want to take him apart just so that I can avoid breaking him at all costs, because when Gemmy Addiction was actually taking it apart for me, he broke in quite a few spots, and I had to repair him. I used a mix of all different types of adhesives, one being JB Weld, 2-part epoxy, one being clear silicone, another being regular super glue, a little bit of hot glue, and I used a little bit of epoxy quick stick putty from JB Weld as well. So all that combined in different parts of the chair I used. I did have to fabricate something, and it's not perfect, and it's not done either. So one day, it's been raining a lot this week. I was going to wait to make the video, but I was really excited, and I just want to get it over with. This piece right here, how it's nice and curved, is missing on this side. So unfortunately, due to it being missing, I got a piece of plastic, actually from one of the adhesives containers, and I cut it out, glued it, and bonded it in place, and I just have to paint it the same type of flat black that the rest of the chair is. So I'll get around to doing that at some point, but that was the only major, I guess, I don't want to say difficult, but I guess physical repair that had to get done for a part that was missing. The rest of him was complete. But this is another thing I'm not too happy about with this type of repair that was done. This stuff right here, it's an eyesore. It does not look original. This could have easily been fixed with some type of resin to bond it together. Use a little bit of JB Weld and then put some resin over it and then paint it so it just looks smooth and it all flows together. This looks very out of place, and it's an eyesore, and I notice it from a mile away. So eventually I am going to get this all off, because I mean it's everywhere on the chair. Eventually I'm going to get all of this off, and I will fix that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for me talking. I'll go ahead and I'll set the tripod up and get him ready for a demo for you guys.
So, you mind if I smoke? Oh, I'm not quite done yet. Can you crank me up to medium well? Another joke, please. I'm still feeling a little stiff in the old back. So, you mind if I smoke? Another joke, please. I'm still feeling a little stiff in the old back. So, you mind if I smoke? Oh, I'm not quite done yet. Can you crank me up to medium well?
Okay, guys, so that was him in, the really bright lighting and then a little bit of a dimmer light. His LEDs are super bright. I mean, they're like blinding when you look at him. He's awesome. The movement's great. The head turn really adds a lot to him, so I'm really happy that this one has that. And overall, the prop itself is just a 10 out of 10. The fact that it's a skeleton, most Gemmy fans are going to appreciate that because it's just a typical Gemmy style, and that's fine. I love the thing. It's my second favorite prototype that I own. My first is the clown. It will always be the clown, but this is just phenomenal. It's such a shame that this wasn't released, and there was so much room for opportunity with this prop too, whether it be for just displays or even to just have in Gemmy's memoir. They could have used this piece and done reskins and done other just variations of him that would have been amazing. Because, like I was comparing him to Death Row earlier, the other thing that I love about this is it's an old style prison uniform, a prisoner uniform. So it looks like an inmate from early days where they did have more death sentences and everything like that. So with Death Row being more of a modern outfit, in my opinion, it looks more modern. How you have the single colored prisoner uniforms. This being the old black and white stripe really adds some nostalgic feeling to it and just makes it fit the character a lot more. So I really think that they just did a great job overall with him. I'm super happy to own this thing, and I'm glad to add it to my collection. I hope you guys, are able to let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below, and just tell me what you think about it. I don't know if everyone's seen this model, because it was posted on YouTube a while ago, but I'm not sure how many people actually have known about this one. Donovan's is very, very, very known about and common. Like I said, it being posted on this channel prior and it being posted on his own channel. The way he got that, from what I remember, is from J. Marcus, because this was at J. Marcus, which is in Pennsylvania. It's a state over from me, and they had it. Obviously, it was never sold, and the one guy's son ended up keeping it. He kept a lot of the prototypes and samples. The one worker's son, I don't know his name, but he kept a lot of the prototypes and samples, and somehow Don had gotten into contact with his son and was messaging him back and forth, and finally convinced the guy to sell it to him. and when it had arrived, it was completely destroyed. I mean, you guys all remember the restoration videos on that. They were, it was a pretty intense restoration. The board was messed up. It was working, and then it died again, and then it was working, and it's been working ever since, to my knowledge. I mean, that I know of, at least. And then the head had to be completely restored. The chair was completely shattered because it was packed pretty awful. But then again, no matter how you pack this thing, it's going to get destroyed in shipping, which is why, again, it was better off going to me being a local sale rather than going, you know, on a truck for a 15-hour ride, or on an airplane for a 4-hour flight, whatever the case might be, thrown around in transport, would just get completely annihilated. So the fact that these even still exist to this day is insane, because they're just built so bad. And it's just a prototype. They're not meant to last. They're meant to be shown off and to companies and say, hey, do you like this item? Okay, yeah, we'll take, 5,000 units. That's all they're meant for. They're not meant to stick around for 10 plus years and for the public to own. So to be able to say that these exist and even own one is amazing. But he got it that way, pretty much. And I'm not too sure how this one was acquired, to be honest with you. I don't know where this one came from, but I'm sure I'll find out. But this one was found, and this one was destroyed too. It got shattered in shipping again. The chair was restored, and then it broke again when it came to Jersey. The chair was fixed again, and then it wasn't destroyed the time when I was fixing it. It just needed some minor repairs, except for the missing piece over there. That was minor. I just have to paint it black, like I said. The other thing I forgot to mention about this was the way that the chair comes apart. So basically, the bottom of the chair, where Mr. Bones is sitting, with the side handles and the whole back, that's all one piece. So they probably could have done that a little bit better, but that's all one piece. And honestly, if they had the arms come off and the back come off, it probably would have saved this chair by a lot with its durability. But unfortunately, they left that as one piece, so it's just very heavy and a very awkward shape that it doesn't, hold up well. And then the legs are two pieces. So the front section is an H and the rear is an H, and basically that's the shape of it. And they come apart, they slide out, and the way that they're held in, I should have taken pictures, but I didn't. The way that they're held in is kind of like how the newer style dancing Santas at Walmart are put together, and the Pennywise and Freddy and the new Jason, with those white pieces that go in between the leg poles. They take those white pieces and they cut them in half. So they took two of them, cut them in half to make four pieces, and they glued them to the bottom of the chair, and then cut tubes from the leg poles and put them inside the chair legs, and they just slide in that way. That was another thing I had to fix. I used a lot of JB Weld 2-part epoxy for that, and mixed up a really good amount, dipped the four pieces into it, and then stuck them back on the chair and taped them on there really good, made sure that they were nice and straight and leveled, let them sit for about 6 hours, I think it was. And then I took some resin and I poured some resin down in there, just to go maybe about half an inch up in the pocket, so that they would never come off again. And they're really strong. If anything was to break, it would be from, any pressure. It would be the bottom of the chair where he sits before those pegs fall off again. So that is perfect, and it's not going anywhere. The rest of the chair, that's tough to tell. It has some stress cracks in it, and it's pretty warped and wavy from, time going on, but still in one piece for now. So hopefully, as the years go on, it remains in one piece. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this guy. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm super happy to own this item, and I'm really happy I was able to share it with you. So with that being said, that's all I have to say about this item. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.